furaha sana, lakini nitasupport kwanza. Alafu kuondoka kidogo. Nikisupport nitaondoka sababu niko na mahali.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready? Yeah? Are you ready? If you are not ready, raise your hand. We need a marshal to give us a signal. You will inform us. Okay. I think I need to, can I? Okay, are you ready? Yeah, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are this morning together with my sister here, Senior Counsel, Mother Karua, and we are also accompanied by legislator Senator Dan Maanzo, Senator Agnes Kavindu, Mheshimiwa Mawadhe, and very many MCAs also. We have the majority leader. Is he here in the county assembly? On the left. Oh, he's on the left. Bwana Kaende, and we have Mheshimiwa Musangi, Mheshimiwa Mudhoni, and then, even more importantly, of course, we can Gen Z guys here, Kamau and Wambugu, but we have, more importantly, representatives of retirees from Kenya Railways, and that is amazing because today we call a spade a spade. Today we continue to say no to grabbing of public, and therefore I'll make this brief statement. I'll read it out for avoidance of doubt, and then our sister mother may want, and then we can have representatives of the retirees saying one or two things. Fellow Kenyans, and this is with reference to a particular land reference. By the way, Integrity Center, Orthodox Church and Integrity Center, this is a land, the railway land we are addressing. 209/1064 stroke 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 Valley Road, Nairobi, property of Kenya Railways retirees. And we have to make a distinction. This is property of Kenya Railways retirees, not property belonging to Kenya Railways, and that will come out clearly. We live in very interesting times, and times that are clearly very unique. We have all seen what has been happening in the last 2 days in Nairobi, where presidential motorcade gets people killed, people don't care, where people have a sense of hopelessness, even take the law in their own hands because they see and they sense nothing but hopelessness. And this wanton disregard of people's feelings, I think that is what is making Kenyans really feel terrible. And a good example was made. We just followed this president to State House so that we are not interested in getting 20 million that he gave to a bishop. We just wanted lunch. That is a state of hopelessness in our country. The government, and now unfortunately even empathy has been swept under the carpet, while blatant greed and wanton theft, backed by state instruments of power, is holding sway over Kenyan people. The government of William Ruto does not care about the aging retirees who own land reference number that, and I've just read it out, in Valley Road, on Valley Road. These retirees who are here today, they are representatives, and I think they're in their thousands. We will be able to hear from their representatives how many of them are actually in that category. These retirees were sent home by Kenya Railways without their pension. Kenya Railways, pursuant to a cabinet memo, vested in their retirement scheme this subject property. It has come to their shocking attention that a person high up in government who has the knack of grabbing public land is at it again. They have chased the poor pensioners out of their property on Valley Road, and the said property is now under police protection, and you can witness this for yourselves as a private developer, quote unquote, demolishes houses of the poor retirees. This is a government that is creating poverty bottom up, bottom up, stealing from poor retirees. I call upon William Ruto to come out open on this subject, and Mother will speak to that, and hand back the property, have the property handed back to the poor retirees, and then leave public property alone. I wanted to say that, and the particulars of the particulars are here. We have also the certificate of lease in the name of Railways, Kenya Railways, and you will then, in your briefing notes, because we wanted copies given to the media, to be able to follow what has happened. These poor retirees are expecting completion of the sale, which was conducted openly. A tender was issued, and then the highest bidder was given the right to buy at 400 million Kenya shillings. And the purchaser has actually gone on to pay 320 million. There's a balance of 79 million. All that money has gone to the retirees. Now they want the balance of 79 million out of this property. There are several other properties, so that we have Kenyans living in dignity when they leave their places of employment. So this is what is happening. Of course, the way forward out of this matter is we recommend strongly that the retirees move to court. In the meantime, if William Ruto has any heart, he should stop. What is going on here. Mother.
Okay, I think you have heard the certificate is in the name of Kenya Railways Corporation. But you have also heard that via a cabinet memo in 2000, 4th of May, 2005, that was the Kibaki era.
Yes.
This land was given to the retirees. Why? Because one of our state corporations, Kenya Railways, had mismanaged itself to the extent of not being able to pay their pensions.
That's right.
So they paid them in kind via this land. So this land, although the title didn't change, the beneficial owners are the retirees. It's not available to the government of Kenya or to any land grabber to lay hands on, because it has owners who are the retirees. This land has already been sold following the steps that should be taken in any legal sale. They have been paid 320 million out of the 400. Only 80 million is pending. And I believe it was sold to a Kenyan. They will be able to say that. Now, I want you to know, the last statement my brother made was that a person high up in government, the indications and the information coming to the retirees, it is that it is William Ruto or members of his family. either him or his children, to be precise. And there is a pattern. Any land where he is mentioned as the one grabbing, ever since he took the seat of the presidency in this country, the characteristics are sending GSU, not just regular police, GSU. So he grabs using state machinery. In Dabibi, where I visited, the owners, old people and their families who acquired this land in the 60s and took possession in 74, it is GSU. It is the local police who have kept them away from their land. Now, this land belonging to railway, away, GSU. Once you see police involvement, the onus shifts to William Ruto. One. And if he says he is not the one, he must tell us who it is. He's the chairman of the Security Council, which comprises, among others, the police and the NIS. They must know who is this trying to take food from the mouth of pensioners. Who is this trying to use state machinery to grab the land? I'm therefore once again asking Dr. William Ruto directly, come clean. Come clean. In Dabibi, after your name was mentioned, titles were manufactured in the name of a third party. So now there is a third party, the man behind MKU, who is now the face of the grabbing at Dabibi. But GSU are still there. So you know it is still William Ruto, because Jane Kehara, MP of Naivasha, had let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah.
She had publicly said it is owned by William Ruto. We are now telling him GSU has appeared in land owned by retirees. The information is that it's you or members of your family, in particular your children. Come clean and tell us why GSU are there. Tell us if it is not you, then who is it? Grabbing has escalated during this rogue KK regime. Unfortunately, Ruto himself has been associated with so much grabbing in this country. And I can give you one as a testimony. This procession way, he had grabbed it during the Moi era. He returned it after the Dongo report. He had already taken a loan of 100 million. He had to pay the loan back. I don't know how he would be accessing State House without procession way, which he had grabbed. We all remember the story of Weston, which went to court, and he was told to return the land or pay market price. He has never shown us receipts that he paid the Kenya Airports Authority. Can you tell us whether you are using state machinery to grab, to satiate your appetite for land? If you are not the one, then tell us who. That is the long and short. But we will not sit as Kenyans, maovu ya kitawala. We will stand with these retirees until they get back their land. In the name of the sovereignty of the Kenyan citizen, we hereby direct you. If it is you, return the land. Stop interfering with the pensioners' land. If it is not you, we direct you to get whoever it is to return this land. In the name of our sovereignty as the people of Kenya. We need to unite to liberate ourselves from land grabbing. We need to unite to liberate ourselves from oppression. I want to thank the retirees for coming forward to consult my brother, and my brother for asking me to come and lend my voice in this. And I want to beg, I will have to rush somewhere else. So when I slip out, do not take it as negative. I had also forewarned them, but we will stand to this to support the retirees until their land is restored. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mother. We now hear Mr. Ibuga, is it?
Amuma.
Amuma. Mr. Amuma, on behalf of the retirees.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I believe you have heard it all. This is what I want to say. Around 2005, 2006, Kenya Railways management were unable to pay pension to the pensioners. After some consultation and through engagement of actuarial people, it was agreed that some property would be transferred to the pensioners, and the figure was 12.4 billion as at that time. After more consultations, it was also agreed that the government be involved, and therefore a legal notice was issued for the transfer of the properties, and this is legal notice number 169 dated July 7th, 2006. This legal notice has 23 properties. So far, we have sold 10 properties, and we are remaining to dispose of some 11 properties. The issue or the problem at hand is with regard to what you have already heard, land reference number 209/1064, parcels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, Valley Road, next here, Nairobi. These properties were transferred to the scheme together with other properties, as I've already shown, and then the same was advertised. This property at Valley Road was advertised by the trustees, Corporate and Pension Trust Services Limited, who were then the sole trustees appointed by the Kenya Railways Corporation. The same was won by one Mahadi, who has yet to receive title deeds, currently being held by Kenya Railway Corporation, who have not transferred the same who have not transferred the same to Mahadi. Since the sale process has not been completed, the property still belongs to the trustees of the Kenya Railways Corporation. I repeat, since the sale property has not been completed, the property is still the property of Kenya Railways Staff Retirement Benefits Scheme or owned by the trustees. Points to note is that the scheme is just a subsidiary. The scheme is not a subsidiary to Kenya Railway Corporation. I repeat, we are as a scheme not under Railway Corporation. Kenya Railway is a sponsor of Kenya Railway Staff Retirement Benefit Scheme, whose main responsibility. Oh, sorry. No. I'm saying Kenya Railways is a sponsor of the scheme, whose main responsibility is to safeguard the interests of the pensioners, period. Nothing more, nothing less. Finally, once the properties are transferred to another entity, and in this case, the scheme, the same is protected by Trustee Perpetual Succession Act, Cap 514. I have all these papers. You may want to take the legal notice. You may also want to take the Trustee Perpetual Succession Act, which is irrevocable. Once properties are transferred to trustees, you cannot revoke the same. Thank you.
Well done. You speak like a lawyer. Are you related to Senior Counsel Muma?
Mungatana.
Mungatana?
Yes.
Okay. Mungatana is not Senior Counsel here. Well done. So it's very, very clear If there are any questions, yeah.
We would like to invite a lady,
Mama Moja,
Anyaga, to say something.
But then what is the population? What is the total number of retirees?
The total number of retirees as it stands now is about 8,000.
That's right. Wow. Now you can see the multiplier effect to the Kenyan families of 8,000 people being denied their rights. Kuna huyo mama mwingine kama hayuko tuendelee. Ako wapi? Mama yuko wapi? Mama karibu pande hii, pita tu hapo. Tatuambia unaitwa nani? Sio?
Mimi naitwa Ann Nyaga, formerly working with the Kenya Railways. I'm a retiree and a pensioner. Kuna mali nyingi tuliweza kupewa na yule aliyekuwa ametuandika ambaye ni Kenya Railways through a legal notice. Na zingine, apart from the one we were talking about, ya Valley Road, we are still requesting. Kuna ingine hapa inaitwa Railway Club, which we sold, which was compulsorily acquired by the government. It is more than 3 years ago, roughly 4 years ago. And they have not finished paying us. They pay us little by little. And we are requesting that the remaining billions, few billions that are remaining, should be given to the pensioners, because the natural attrition is very high. Most of us are sickly. Some are more than 90 years old. And we don't.
Yule mzee, hebu kuja onekana yule mzee. Hebu kuja mzee tafadhali. This mzee must be paid his benefits. Unamwona? How old is he now? How old are you, sir?
Over 70.
You're over 70? Hiyo umekaribia 80 something. Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa. Okay, thank you.
So we are saying pensioners wanakufa wengi sana, wanawacha mali yao. Personally, I lost my dad, who was also a railway pensioner, 1.5 years ago. And there are some arrears that he still has to be given. And that represents, I'm not being selfish, but that represents the problems that we are having. So if the government can be kind to us and pay the remaining amount for the sale of the compulsory acquisition of Railway Club, we would be glad, and most of the pensioners would be able to pay for their medical bills. I don't have much to...
Thank you. We appreciate, madam. Of course, whatever is due to your late dad should go to the estate, to his estate, and so he doesn't lose at all. Kwa hivyo, hiyo ndio maneno. Pengine kama mna swali on the pensioners, you can. If not, we go to the next subject. Because I think there's 2 demolitions happening. Au mheshimiwa anaweza kuelezeni, mheshimiwa, but I think I will have the senator say something on what you have just gone through. Mheshimiwa Kavindu, Mheshimiwa Manzo.
Yeah. Kwa majina ni Senator Agnes Kavindu Mudhama kutoka Machakos County.
Everybody knows you by now.
Mimi yangu ni kushangaa kabisa kwa sababu hawa pensioners wa railways wakiwa somebody is grabbing where they belong and what belongs to them. Na ukiwaangalia hawa ndio serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ilikuwa inasema itainua maskini kwenda juu, bottom up, serikali ya bottom up. Lakini sasa inaonekana ni bottom chini, wakiendelea kuwafanya kuwa maskini, kwa sababu hao wazee wameretire. Na wakiwa wameretire sasa, pahali wanaweza kuita kwao na wanaweza kuuza, wakajisaidia, inakuwa grabbed. Tunasema hivi, sisi kama wana Wiper Azimio opposition, leader wetu akiwa hapa His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, tunasema hawa wapatiwe haki yao. Na President Samoei Ruto, tunakuheshimu, lakini sasa hawa watu watalia mpaka lini? Maskini watalia mpaka lini? Wapatiwe haki yao. Na kama vile Mheshimiwa Martha Karua amesema, kama sio wewe umegrab, ni nani amegrab? Wewe ni baba yetu katika hili taifa. Kama baba, fanya haki kama baba. Asanteni.
I want to say that the rights of pension and any other monies accruing to somebody who is retired is a constitutional right, and it is enforced by the law. And therefore, there is no way you can take away what belongs to a pensioner and give it to somebody else. Not only this particular case, but there are many other land grabbing cases in the country, whereby if a property, its lease is about to come to an end, and certain people go and grab it, including properties belonging to the army, cannot be grabbed, stolen, and given to a church. God is not poor. God does not take stolen sacrifices. It can only attack curses to whoever is doing that. And I want to say that this particular one, the Kenya Railways are only trustees. They should give it to the retirees or make sure they look for money and pay for it up. I thank you.
Well done. Thank you. Mheshimiwa Mwadhe, you want to say anything? I think we move to the next level. The next thing is, one would have expected that when William Ruto went to visit Mathare, Dagoretti, and other places today we gather is in Makandara, he would at least have the heart to address the problems that our people faced after the demolitions, particularly along the Nairobi River. And now we have seen notice kusema kwamba they are not satisfied with the 30 meters. They want now to go up to 60 meters, and therefore occasioning greater harm and pain to the people of this city. And these are fellow Kenyans. They were even promised, I would have expected William Ruto to say, here is the money that we promised to Wapatia. In fact, if you remember, it was a point of departure with his deputy, because the deputy could see the blatant abuse of human rights of the citizens of this country. So we are seeing that instead of giving prominence to things, to this challenge, is now offering to get up a machine which can manufacture 1 million chapatis. If I was asked for an opinion, and if you truly believe in the bottom-up thing, first of all, the making of chapati is actually a Kenyan tradition. It should be given to mama mbogas. If you want to feed the children, and this is advice to Governor Sakaja, in Dagoretti, in Mukuru Kwanjenga, wherever, give that contract to mama mbogas. Waambiwe, we utap supply every month to this school, to that primary school, to Toy Primary School. But you can imagine creating a machine ya kutengeneza chapati. I think it's a big joke. These people have become a real big joke. And we therefore want to tell them we are watching, and of course we'll be going to the ground. I know media occasionally said, hey, you guys go out there. Haven't you seen that Ruto's tour of the city comprises more policemen with batons beating people, right, than the citizens themselves? So you cannot force yourself on the Kenyan people. Kenyans have decided Ruto must go. Ruto must go wherever he goes. And we know they even paying not all of you, the regular media, but musionyeshe hiyo. Kwa mfano jana, these retirees, I'm told, had a procession to their property. But people misdirected the media to Utawala. Today, they are getting it as it should be. God bless you. Kama kuna maswali ama somebody wants to add, Mheshimiwa Mawathe.
Asanteni sana. Mimi nitazungumzia, kabla sijazungumzia hili jambo la ubomoaji, nitazungumzia hilo jambo la retirees. Tafadhali, hata kama una roho, hao wazee wako na miaka 78, 80, 91, wewe unaichangia kwa kumdhulumu huyu mzee, hiyo landi yake iibiwe, wewe siku moja utaretire. Usisahau hao wenyewe walishindwa kuwalipa hawa wazee, ndipo kabidi wapatie hayo mashamba 23 ambayo wameuza 10, lakini moja na grabiwa hapa. Tafadhali shamba irudishwe kwa wazee, na hiyo railway pia warudishiwe. Hicho ni kiwanja chao. Asanteni. Tazama nyinyi wazee, na takisha kama umepata shamba zenyu.
Thank you.
Lile lingine, ili jambo la ubomoaji nataka kuanzisha upya. Riparian ilikuwa ni kwa kisheria ni mita 15 kushoto, mita 15 kulia, ama kutoka kwa mto. Lakini sasa nataka kuongeza, uende kwa bomoe mita nyingine 15 pande hii, mita nyingine 15 pande hii, hiyo mita 30 kila upande. Ni sheria gani ambayo mnatunga? Mna publish vitu kwa magazeti sababu printing press, government printing press ni yenu. Haiwezekani. Kule kwa ground mtakutana na wananchi. Kuna kama sisi hatutakubali mje mbomolee watu wetu hapa Nairobi. Hapa Nairobi hatubomolewi. Wewe tafadhali, kama una mambo yako kubomolea watu, nenda kabomolee kwingineko. Hapa Nairobi River hatutakubali. Na wananchi wale wako pale, wameishi pale miaka zaidi ya 37, 42 hapa wanapoishi. Juzi mkoja mbomolea, mkaambia, mkaahidi kwamba mtawapatia pesa za kwenda kuishi mahali pengine. Mkawadanganya. Tafadhali, ili jambo tuliangalia kimakini, because wananchi wako tayari kutoka. Mtakuja, mtatupata pale kwenye ground. Sisi hatuwafichi na sisi hatuogopi. Round hii hata kubali mtu amwabomolee watu wetu. Hiyo wizi ya mashamba imezidi sana. Tamaa ya mashamba. Kwani ni mashamba ambaye kangapi unataka? Ni mashamba ambaye mnataka? Hao wananchi wa Mukuru kwa Njenga, Mukuru kwa Ruben, Kware, hiyo wenye yote. Kibra. Huko kwa mtaka kubomola kwa nini? Ati 15 meters zinatosha kufanya riparian na kupanda miti. Kwa area yangu mimi Embakasi South imepandwa vizuri na wale machief na wale ACC wako kule. Kwa hivyo wacheni kuja kuingilia kudhulumu wananchi tafadhali. That is totally unnecessary. Kuna mala pengine pa kupanda miti kama mnataka. Asante.
I just want to say that the journeys made by the president in Nairobi is a preparation of young Kenyans to accept a new finance bill, which is being prepared. And I want to urge Kenyans, and especially the young ones, and every caring Kenyan, that we need to look at it carefully. It is not very different from the one which has been rejected before, and the Kenyans should be alert. That's why the president is trying to popularize his ideas in Nairobi. And finally, you have seen the tours are mad with chaos, robberies, and the people who are paid to come into these rallies eventually end up looting people. I think the main thing is to provide security for innocent Kenyans whose cars are being broken into and they are getting robbed, and even unfortunately somebody died in this. The president has need to apologize for it and compensate that particular family.
Thank you. Well, maybe 2 other points. You have noticed that the Haiti mission has now become a matter for Kenyan taxpayers. Who in the first place allowed them to go to Haiti? I was in Kajiado yesterday, and the body of our first fallen police officer will be arriving, probably has arrived, and will be buried somewhere in Kajiado on Wednesday. This is a big shame. Hebu angalieni, badala ya kulia that the American administration has withdrawn USAID, in order to now cover that gap, our advice would have been very simple. That you withdraw our Haiti children. Withdraw them. If you are now asking Kenyans to pay some 4.65 billion, I've seen that in the media, we use that to even now make sure the medicines for HIV patients, right, and other diseases that have been covered or catered for by the USAID program, at least use that money to make these medicines transportable to every Kenyan, because a lot of them are already missing their doses. You are killing your people, and the money that's supposed to help them unalipa kwa Haiti na kwingineko. Similarly, because RSF here came and formed a parallel government, the government of Sudan has now banned importation of Kenyan tea. If you are familiar with Khartoum, utajua kwamba wanapenda sana kahawa majani ya Kenya. They actually take it black tea with a lot of sugar. Kwa kila mahali. Now we cannot even export our tea to Sudan because of carelessness of this regime. Mambo haya yote yanawakera sana wa Kenya. So even you members of the media, you have that obligation to let our people know. And I thank you. I really thank you. Because this is a struggle for all of us to get our country back. Asanteni sana.